Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It's from the Bleachers, broadcasting live from the Findlay Hyundai studio. Kaden Foremaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know, and we have Panthers in studio today.
That's right. That's right. Pineview Panthers here in the house. Softball team is here with us today, of course. So, we're going to hop right on into some action.
Let's do it.
Before we do, this is something that I wanted to do in the past when we've had some of our other softball teams in here, but we haven't had the chance to. For our listeners, just so you know, we are broadcasting live on YouTube. Go over to the Fan Sports Network YouTube page where you can watch us, talk with the team, and sit here and enjoy the conversation, right? But you can be a part of the conversation if you go to YouTube. You can hit up the YouTube chat if you have questions for these ladies or for Coach as well. Feel free to put it in the YouTube chat. So, sound good?
Let's do it.
All right. Well,
I love it. We'll be looking for that.
Yep. Well, let's get into it. Pineview Panthers, starting things off here. Of course, we have Coach up on the mic right now. Coach, will you introduce yourself for us?
Yes, I'm Donald Glover, head coach of Pineview softball. I've been the head coach for 3 years.
Okay.
Back in 2019, I was assistant coach under Sheila Gelter, so that's what brought me back. I was at Dixie 2020, the COVID year, but came back because I knew Pineview was the place I wanted to be. So I think it's a right fit, but I'm excited. I'm excited for this year. I'm excited to see these girls grow.
So last year, region-wise, wasn't what you were looking for sure. What are your expectations this year for the Lady Panthers in region play and overall?
The last 2 years, we're 0 in region games, so under me. So it'd be nice just to win one, right? That's the goal, just to win one.
You got to get one to get two. You got to get two to get three.
So the expectation is just to win one, obviously, but to compete every day. Compete. I've always say before the game starts, play hard, play smart, play together. If we do those things and we compete, then the rest will take care of itself. We can't really control the outcome. We only can control what we can control. Mm-hmm. So that's what I let them know. But once we do that, and like I said, we compete, we'll be in a lot of games. I think this year we have a really good club, really competitive club. A lot of athletic girls, so I'm excited. I'm excited moving forward. Right now we're 1-3 in the preseason, and we play 2 games tomorrow and then 1 on Friday. But once region rolls around, like I said, it's a tough region.
Yeah,
it's going to be a tough region. For time to come. So as long as we can compete and win one, that's the goal. Win one this year, and then see what happens.
Yeah.
So what is something that you guys have been working on then from the off season, from last season, right, till now to just continually improve? What's something that you've been working on, maybe just yourself as a coach?
Well, for the team is playing together. Is trying to get, because we don't play a lot of year-round together. A lot of other schools do, but just playing together, having them playing together as one. There's 11 of us, or let's say 13 of us for varsity, but we need to come together as 9 on the field to try to scrap out some wins. But so just playing together, team chemistry is huge. We might not have the most talent, but if we play together and play for each other, then we'll be fine.
And we'll get to know these ladies here in just a few minutes. But tell us, present company not included, who should we be looking for in the Pineview Panthers softball program? Maybe they're underclassmen that you're really excited about, or somebody that couldn't make it today. Who should we be looking for?
We have 4 new contributors. We have 2 freshmen.
Okay.
Reese Guston is a utility player, shortstop, center fielder. Kylie Carpenter is a catcher, freshman. She's one that plays year-round softball. She's been really competitive, really good for us so far. Cambria Gibson is one that is going to be able to play for the first time. She's been out due to grades. And then we have Reagan Johnson, who came from Desert Hills 2 years ago. So those 4 girls are going to contribute a lot. They've already been playing a little bit and contributing to the team this year. But again, we just got to figure out a way to play together. But those girls are definitely going to be a asset to our team. So that's going to be fun to watch. Here come the region play next Tuesday.
So how did you get into the position of coaching in the first place? Are you a baseball guy originally? Kind of tell me your story about how you transitioned over into the softball world.
I played at Dixie State, played baseball.
Okay.
And then I played a little bit of pro ball. But after, I started working with Caitlin and Avery, SBA. And I came out just to volunteer my time with hitters and outfielders. And then I was like, all right, I can probably see myself doing this. And then volunteer turned into being there all the time. And then I was like, this is fun. So I started coaching high school with Sheila. And then I was like, I think I can be a head coach, or I want to be a head coach. COVID happened at Dixie High School. And then I was like, I want to come back to Pineview, and that's where I want to be so I can coach some of these girls that I've started with since
Yeah.
they were 12 years old. So I've always tell them softball is a better game than baseball. So I'm happy to be at softball. They ask me, do I want to go back to baseball? I say, I'm good right now. I'm
Coach,
good.
So just a little background. I know this is about you, but I always seem to make it about me. So I'm the PA announcer at Desert Hills. I do many sports and then plus baseball. My boy's a senior baseball player this year. But for the past, I've been doing baseball for this is my 5th season, I believe. And I'm telling you, the softball crew is right down the hall. And, you know, we're looking here at a 2-1 game. You know, it's kind of a snooze fest. And I just hear down the hall, you know, softball going crazy. It's 16-13. They got the cheers going on. And I'm like, man, I love that. I love softball.
I mean, it is.
I love baseball, too. Don't get me wrong. But
baseball was probably what got me here. So
yeah.
I can't throw shade at baseball too much, but I'm excited to be here. Like I said, it's exciting. The games are like this. You can be up. I mean, we just had a game where we were losing 15-3.
Wow.
We scored 10 runs in one inning off of maybe 3 hits.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's a game where it's here. So you just got to be consistent. You just got to be calm. It's a lot of game. Like I said, I've told them a couple of times I've seen crazier things happen in softball games. So we're never out of it until the game's over, right? So I enjoy the game because it is fast-paced. It is exciting. So I think for me, I'm going to be in softball for – I won't say forever, but I'll be in softball for a while.
It sounds like Pineview's lucky to have you right now because I love the enthusiasm. I really do.
So do I. It's great.
I do too.
It's great. Thanks, Coach. Thanks for hopping on with us. Let's get one of the players up here, though.
Yeah, let's get
Should we
it.
do it?
Who's leading off?
Avery. They're all saying Avery's getting on the mic here.
Avery's the
you
lead
can
off
tilt
hitter.
that down a little bit, Tia.
So you're leading off here. Where do you normally bat in the lineup?
I lead off, actually.
This is
Yep.
perfect. Here.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So what position do you play, Avery?
I play center and then I pitch. So, yeah.
As a pitcher, have you been working on any certain pitch in the offseason, a riser or a change or?
Yeah, I just kind of rock with my fastball and changeup. I don't have a lot of time in the off season, but I try and do my best just to stay consistent and just be accurate. So.
Now, we did talk a little bit before we started the show today that you also play basketball
I
as
do.
well.
Yep.
So I'm sure that's, it takes some time to,
Oh, yeah.
to try to get into softball mode. Everyone else is probably already there and you're still in basketball mode.
Yep.
How's that transition for you going from one sport to the next?
You know what? It's the past few years it's been kind of difficult just because it's just a different pace and just a different schedule. But this year, it's my senior season, and it was really sad, a basketball ending. But jumping into softball really helped me just to stay busy and just stay focused. But I'm super excited for this year.
Now, I know Coach is standing right here, but what's your favorite sport to play? Is it softball, basketball?
He knows, yeah. No, basketball is definitely my favorite sport, but I love softball. I've been playing since we were, in 6th grade? Yeah, forever.
And this year, you get to play with your sister, right?
Oh, yeah, both sports.
And she's a freshman,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
You two were dynamic on the basketball court
Thank you.
together. I enjoyed watching you play the few times that I was able to watch you. And is she as good at basketball as she is, or at softball as she is at basketball?
You know what? She's just annoyingly athletic. So she just kind of is good at everything that she does. She hasn't played softball for a long time. She used to play club when she was younger and then kind of just focused on basketball. But she just jumped in her freshman year and is one of the best out of all of us, which is so annoying. But I mean,
it's got to be fun though playing. You're a senior, she's a freshman.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be kind of fun that you can kind of share those memories together.
Totally,
though.
I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. Yeah, it's been the coolest. We've been waiting for this for forever. So to have it finally be here has been really, really special. So
now, when you're playing the outfield, what do you feel your strength is in center field? Is it chasing down balls in the gap? Is it your arm?
Man. I mean, I'm just kidding. I feel like I'm pretty fast, so I can read the ball pretty well. I can get to pretty much anything for the most part, I feel like. But yeah, I have a pretty decent arm, so I love center. It's my favorite position easily.
So again, with that too as well, let's get into this. Do you prefer being out in center field or do you prefer being up to bat? Because you say you prefer center field, but do you prefer that or do you like sitting up there at the plate?
I don't know. Oh, that's a really good question. I love hitting. It hasn't really been like my strong suit, but I love it. Like, especially leading off this year, you kind of set like the tempo for the game, which is really important. But I don't know, center's kind of my jam, even though there's not a lot of action sometimes. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, what is your favorite cheer?
Oh my gosh.
Because I have
Coach has one.
Coach
ready,
has his
locked and
favorite.
loaded.
Yeah.
Man, what's yours?
Coach says we
That's
want
like
a
a little
single.
league cheer. Probably the one that's like when you steal a base and they're like the coast got Kawasaki beep beep. Yeah, probably that one. I think it's so funny. Yeah.
This is what I love about the girls in softball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like in our minds too. Like you just say it and you just like
I'm
everything's
sure.
memorized. It's so funny. Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
sure.
It's just like visceral reaction, right? It's
Yeah,
just
totally.
someone starts it off and it's just like I know exactly what I'm supposed to
Yeah,
do now, and you
definitely.
just go for it.
Yeah.
So what bat do you swing?
Oh my gosh, what's the one that we have? The team bat. Yeah.
A Louisville.
Yeah, we've had it since my freshman year. I think I was the first one that hit with it too.
Now, when you
Yeah.
say Louisville, you got to say it like there's a bunch of just crap in your mouth. Louisville.
Louisville. It's true.
Awesome, Avery. Well, congratulations on a great basketball season,
Thank
first
you.
off.
Thank
And
you.
then moving forward into softball here. Good luck this
Really
season.
appreciate it.
And we looking forward to seeing you out there on
Thank
the diamond.
you. Thanks for
Yeah.
having us, you guys.
You betcha.
Okay,
All
who
right.
do we got next?
Who's in the 2-hole?
Caitlin Hunt.
Caitlin Hunt.
Yep.
Caitlin, what position do you play?
I'm a utility player, so I can play anywhere, but I've been playing third a lot recently.
Ooh, the hot corner.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I love it. I love how fast-paced it is. You don't have like any time to think. You just got to do it.
You know, that's been the answer to all third basemen is I don't have any time to think. That we're our biggest problems, aren't we? We get in our own heads, and so you're playing shortstop or second base. You got time to think about it, sit down on this ball, and all of a sudden it goes between your legs. Third base, you don't have that time to think.
Yep.
Love it. Do you have a good arm?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Well, you have to have a good arm to play third, right?
Yeah, you got to throw it across the field.
That's a long throw. It's a long throw. Okay, I want to ask you the same question as well. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer defense or offense? Would you rather be up to bat or out there on third?
I don't know. I think defense is always really fun. That's like everybody's in it on the field. Everybody's always playing, and in the dugout, like I guess, like you're always sitting there watching, but you're not in that moment right then and there. When you're on the field, you're in that moment.
Okay, so you're telling me that you would rather be playing down at third, stabbing doing a backhand stab, throwing it across the field to get the person out. You'd rather do that than hit a gapper double?
I don't know. It's a hard one.
See? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing,
Although
though.
they're both great things to do.
Yeah.
The
but-
thing is, they both are so fun. Like you know, hitting a double feels fantastic. Throwing someone out from third,
Oh, yeah.
also fantastic.
That is true.
So I understand. I
don't
get that's
know.
a tough one.
Awesome. What's your favorite cheer?
Favorite cheer? I'd have to say the same one as
Yeah.
Avery. Yeah. I know we all get.
That's the one,
We
huh?
all get hype when everybody, like when Avery steals or whenever anybody steals, we all use that cheer, and it's always fun in the dugout.
What's your expectations this year? What do you want to get out of this season?
I just want to have fun.
Have fun?
Yeah, I don't want the stress or anything
Mm-hmm.
on anybody. I just want to go in there, ball out, and try your best.
Tell me what a Coach Glover practice is like.
Well, he likes practice to be fast paced.
Mm-hmm.
He like any slacking is not tolerated. We gotta be fast and yeah.
I think
Get on
that's
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a baseball/softball rule. Once you get inside that chalk, you're running, right?
Yeah. No walking or we're running after practice.
That's right. You know, I saw a bumper sticker one time. I don't know if any of you ladies won't run track or anything like that, but
Well, they're softball players, so it's same season.
oh, that's true. Well, cross
they
country
could
then.
do cross country.
Cross country.
Yeah.
I saw a bumper sticker one time that said, and this kid ran cross country. It was cross country.
Oh, there you
And he
go.
goes, my sport is your sport's punishment.
Yeah.
And it's
That's funny.
true. That's why I would never run cross country either. But
I was cross country and track, and it was horrible.
That
I
sucks.
I can vouch for
there's
that.
other sports to play, dude. You didn't have to do that.
That's fair. That's fair. Understandable.
Thank you, and good luck this season. I'll be looking forward to seeing you out there on the
Yeah,
diamond.
thank you.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, who do we have coming up next here?
Abby Rosenberg.
Abby Rosenberg. Abby, welcome in. And what position are you?
I play first or sometimes third.
First or sometimes third.
Yeah.
First can be tough because you're the one over there that's, you're at the tail end of the play. You're the one that
Yeah.
has to finalize that play. Does that give you any stress and anxiety, or do you feel comfortable with your skills that you're just like, I got this?
It depends. If I get in my head, then it's like super nerve-wracking and stuff. But if I just calm down and trust myself, then I can usually make a play.
And you're tall. How tall are you?
I'm 5'11".
5'11".
Yeah.
Let's just call it 6 foot. With your cleats on, you're 6 feet,
Oh, yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Throw on the cleats. You're 6.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's a making of a good first baseman too. You gotta have a little height. You like him too, anyways.
Yeah.
How are you on the picks though? Like,
I struggle a little bit.
A little kind of a short arm throw from third base or shortstop. Do you work on those?
I do work on those. I do struggle a little bit, but I just got to get the glove down. And
But there's
play.
always something to improve on, right?
Yeah,
That you just
always,
always
yeah.
need to know what you can do to get better, right? So same question to you, and we kind of asked this to the other ones as well. What would you prefer, making a great play at first, getting someone out, or smacking a double into a gap?
I think I prefer first base.
Oh,
There's just a
The
lot.
What is
defense.
wrong with you people? You want to be able to hit. You got to be able to hit.
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
teasing, I'm
I
just
love
teasing.
my defense as well, so I'm happy with your answer because
Hey.
I think making defensive plays is so fun.
Yeah.
You know,
and
like
there's a lot of action at first.
especially
Yeah,
being
there
at
is,
first.
there
If you're grabbing that second end of a double or something, like you get 2 outs off of the play. Why not? Why not? It's great.
Yeah.
But I've always said, and I hope Coach will back me up here. I have always said to younger players, to high school, wherever, if you can hit, Coach will find a place for you. Coach
It's
will
true.
find a place for
Yeah,
you.
it's true.
So you might be a defensive
like, yeah.
liability, but if you can hit, you're in the lineup, baby.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways,
Do you have a favorite cheer?
I think
Is
I
it
have
the
to
same
go-
as everybody
I
else?
think so.
I-
It's so
Do we even
fun.
need to ask this question anymore?
yeah.
It is fun though, huh? It is a good one.
And softball is your only sport?
Yeah.
That's what you play.
Yeah.
Do you
I
play?
used to play volleyball, but I decided I want to stick with softball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have aspirations to playing after high school, or
I think it would be awesome too.
Yeah.
I think it'd be super fun. Yeah.
I like it. And are you a senior this year?
I'm a junior.
Or you're a junior?
A
Okay,
junior.
so you can still got some time left
Yeah.
in you. Nice. Very good.
Great.
Oh, well, we are happy to see you out there on the field, and we hope to see you again back here next year
Yeah.
to
Awesome.
come hop into the studio with us.
absolutely? Yeah. Good luck this season. We'll be looking for you out there.
All
All
right.
right. Who's batting cleanup?
Last one,
Ooh,
hopping on the mic.
Okay, my name's Mikkel Jepson, and I play outfield. Love it out there. It's so much fun.
Corners. I'm assuming one of the corner outfields.
Yeah, or
okay.
if Avery's pitching,
Or if
I'll
Avery's
be
pitch- oh, okay.
center.
That's
So
true.
we switch off whatever
Okay.
it is. I love
Now we were talking earlier also too. You play another sport too. What is that sport?
it. I do women's wrestling. I've done that for 3 years now, and possibly 4 if I can make my mind up on what I want to do after.
So you're a junior as well.
No, I'm a senior.
Oh, you're a senior.
I'm looking
Okay.
to possibly
Oh.
be playing in college. Yeah,
Okay.
wrestling in college.
Wrestling. How do you think that does that help you with softball?
It does. I would say next to probably swimming or
Mm-hmm.
track, wrestling's up there at one of the hardest sports, I would say.
Sure.
And I would almost call it a job because I take it so seriously. Not that I don't take softball seriously, but I get to come out onto the softball field and it's like relaxing to me.
Yeah.
Wrestling is so intense.
It is
and
intense.
Very high pace and very demanding.
So, real quick, just because we don't get a lot of our lady wrestlers in here, and you said you might have an option to go to the next level. Is that right?
I do.
So, do you have some offers out there? Some ideas? Anything that you maybe can speak about? Because I know sometimes you like to keep those things under wrap. But
I have a few different options. One of them, which is the only women's wrestling team sanctioned in Utah at Snow College, just up here in Richfield. I actually was up there on Monday, just touring the campus, talking with the coaches.
one of my friends, by the way, that I went to high school with, is a coach at Snow College for the women's wrestling. So
Oh,
he's
oh,
there.
really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
might-
So-
I'll probably talk to him.
So yeah, exactly.
No, it was really awesome to be able to go up there and see everyone and get to wrestle with them. I've already been in contact with them quite a few times. I would go up there for tournaments, and it's a blast. I love it up there.
That's awesome.
Now, when you're in the box, where do you normally bat in the lineup?
I would say like 4th, 5th, 6th. It
So
changes.
cleanup as well, right around that cleanup area. Are you a power hitter?
Depends
Like
on the
you-
day.
Everyone else
Avery says yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
On a good day, yeah.
Have you hit any out yet?
Yeah, I have. It was one of our preseason games recently. I think
Okay.
it was like our second preseason game. Yeah, I hit it right out the fence. Felt pretty good.
That does feel pretty good.
It sucks that no one was on base, but it was all right.
Hey,
we got a point on the board.
Did anybody call you Han Solo or anything like that?
Yeah, hitting
no,
those
no.
single shots.
I got a captain crunch from my brother though, so
Okay.
that felt pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Again, Mark and I, we're the ones that we say we love our outfielders as well. What's something you kind of work on as an outfielder to make your game a little bit better out there?
So a little backstory. I used to play football when I was little, and always running out to go catch passes, you'd have to flip your hips really fast. And I think that's one of the funnest things out in outfield. It just makes me think of when I was little. Going out chasing a ball or diving for a ball, I would say is the funnest feeling.
That is.
You'd probably ask what's better,
Yeah.
offense or defense? Defense, 100%. I love it out there. It is.
Coach,
is.
it sounds like you have a great defensive squad. Yeah,
It feels amazing.
that's awesome.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for stopping in as well, and thanks to all of you for coming in. It's been a blast to be able to talk
Yeah.
to you,
Amazing
and
to come.
of course, we wish you the best of luck this season.
Yeah, Pineview Panther softball.
Yeah.
You guys start next Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
And who do you play against? Who do you open up against?
Snow Canyon.
Snow Canyon. Woo!
Yup.
Yeah, it'll be
Baby.
fun.
Starting
Yeah.
strong.
You want to take them down, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't give out any bulletin board material, but I know you do. Yeah, absolutely. Avery's coming at you. Snow
He's
Canyon.
like, I don't care. I want to take you down.
Love it.
Love it. All right. Well, thanks again for stopping in, and we're gonna head to a break here. So we'll have, I believe we actually have another team.
Yeah.
Right around the corner from you guys. So just don't fight each other in the hallway on the way out. How's that sound? They're like, no promises. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we're gonna take a break. We have more coming up after this here on From the Bleachers. Welcome back in, everybody. It's from the Bleachers, broadcasting live out of the Findlay Hyundai studio. Kaden Foremaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
In the studio with us. We have another team here, swapping one out for the next. It's the Hurricane Tigers softball team. And I love that we're getting all the softball teams in here. Ladies, you are now our fifth.
Yeah,
team that we've had in here.
We have Dixie and Cedar to go.
Dixie and Cedar left.
Yep.
So happy to have you in. But as we always do, let's get things started. We're going to be starting off with the coach of the Hurricane Tigers softball team as well. Coach, feel free to introduce yourself for us.
Hi, my name's Chris Hurst. I've been the head coach here at Hurricane for 4 years, assisted for 6 years before that, and just excited to be here with you guys today.
Awesome. Looks like you're getting off to a pretty good start as far as your preseason schedule. I have you down as 5-2. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're 6-2.
6-2 now.
Yeah.
Des News needs to catch up a little bit. So 6-2. What's been your strength so far this year? Defense, offense?
I think we've been pretty solid all the way through. I will say I think that our hitting has been maybe better than I expected it to be this early in the season. So we're really hitting the ball, scoring a lot of runs, but the pitching has been good as well as the defense. So I feel like we're off to a good start in all three areas.
Now, with that said, what's something that this year coming into it, you were like, hey, we really need to improve upon this thing? What's the one thing that you said, let's get better at that?
Well, to me, I feel like it's not something that's on the field. I feel like our mental game is something that we had to improve. And we made some big strides in that last year by competing and beating some teams that we haven't beat for a long time, and kind of showing ourselves that, hey, we can play with everybody, we can beat anybody. So I feel like mentally we're working on our mental game a lot.
Yeah.
And I maybe follow that up with say I feel like maybe we need to hit a little bit better.
Yeah.
We need more run scoring. We've got good teams in our region and good pitching, and so runs are a premium sometimes.
Yeah. Last year, region schedule, region season, you were kind of middle of the pack. You were 5-7. I think you were 4th or 5th. I can't remember exactly. What's your expectations this year to improve upon?
Well, we have high expectations. In fact, our practices this year have been really good. I feel like the girls, without even having to be told or said anything to, they're holding themselves to a higher expectation for each other. Same with us coaches. We all have high expectations this year. Last year, like I said, we broke through and did some things we haven't done for a while. And so we're looking to improve on that. We had a 5th place finish in state, and we want to be better than that this year. So we're excited for this year. We think we can do some good things, but we have to go out and prove it.
Yeah.
Who are some of the big names on the team that maybe aren't here? Because we will get to a few of them here in a little bit. But who are some that have maybe been coming through the ranks this season that have been surprising or have just been performing really well?
Yeah, so some people that we're going to be leaning on a lot this year will be some of our pitchers. Aniston Hutchings will be a big player for us varsity-wise. So will Austin Terry in our pitching. We've had some injuries early this year, so we've had some girls have to step in and play premium positions. So Faith Fuller and Anna Lee are both going to be handling a lot of our catching duties early on. And a couple of our girls that have really hit the ball well early this year that I don't want to say it's surprising, but they're leading our team in hitting right now, and that's a sophomore, Lizzie Horsley, and MJ Erickson. Both those girls have been hitting the ball. So we've had a lot of contributions and some surprises and some just kind of expected, but it's been good so far.
What's it like when you look at the region schedule? I mean, that doesn't change much other than where you play them within the season. We play in such a tough region in softball. It doesn't matter really what sport it is. It's just Region 10 is tough. But what's your expectations? You look at this like, hey, we're playing them. Let's get a split would be great. We're going to sweep them. Do you look at the schedule that way?
I do. Yeah, I look at it and kind of line it up. Say, okay, against these teams we need both.
Yeah.
Against these teams, I'd like to split.
A split would be
Yeah. So So there are high expectations. I think we're picked to finish 4th or 5th. I can't remember either. But the teams that are ranked above us are all good teams.
Yeah, they are.
And so we're going to have to play well to beat them. And I think a lot of it kind of plans on who's playing well at the time, too. Last year we didn't get off to a great start in region, but we finished really strong and got some key wins and some key victories that happened late in the year. So hopefully we can kind of ride that momentum a little bit for this year, get a stronger start at the first, and roll into the playoffs playing our best softball.
And maybe the girls will know this better, but is MJ swinging a new bat?
Is MJ swinging a new bat, girls? Yes, she is.
You can credit that to me.
Okay. All right.
Her dad called me. I told her what to get, that kind of thing. So
okay. Credit goes to
on
you.
me.
Thank you.
That's on me.
We appreciate that.
Hey, let's get some of the girls in here. Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And good luck this season. We'll be rooting for you for sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, who's batting leadoff?
Hi, I'm Abby Stout.
Abby, how are you? You play basketball.
Yes, I do.
All right.
Now, switching from basketball over to softball, I know sometimes that can be a little bit of an abrupt switch, but how was that transition for you? Were you excited to get into softball?
Yeah, I'm always sad when basketball ends, but I'm excited for softball season. It's a little bit rough at the beginning, but that's why preseason is always good to get into the flow of things and stuff like that.
What's your favorite? Do you like to play in the the temperature controlled gym, or do you like to get out in the dirt, Mother Nature? What do you prefer, Abby?
Softball is probably my favorite, but it's rough right now because we're switching from the cold and then it goes to the hot. So it's definitely nicer being in the gym where it's all just fun.
Where it's all temperature controlled. Yeah. And you said you played out. What do you play? What position?
Oh, I pitch and I play shortstop.
Pitch and shortstop. When you're in the circles, is there a certain pitch you've been working on this off season?
I've been trying to dial in my changeup, and I've been trying to work on my curve and rise ball too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's nice. So softball, of course, you got to have a good pitcher. You got to have a good shortstop. What does it take for you mentally to be able to go in and play that position at a high level?
it's definitely a lot of pressure when I'm pitching, but I just know that my teammates always have my back, and that's helps with a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. Do you, like I always tell some pitchers, pound the zone, pitch to contact, because you do have your teammates behind you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I can always trust them. Our defense is great. So, I just give the batters the ball and then let our defense do the rest.
Where do you normally hit in the lineup?
Usually I hit, right now I've been hitting like fifth.
Okay.
Around that area.
What kind of a hitter are you? Are you a traditional, swing hitter? Are you a slap hitter? What do you like to do?
I'm just traditional right
Traditional.
now, yeah.
Okay. A righty?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're a lefty, make sure you tell me when you come up to the mic, okay? So, yeah, great, Abby. You had a great basketball season. I enjoyed watching you play.
Thank you.
For some of the gals here, you might remember. I do the PA announcing at Desert Hills, so that's why I recognize some of these names. Like Avery Gustin was just in here with Pine View, and so the basketball players I kind of get to know a little bit, and I remember for sure. So you're a great basketball player too.
Thank you.
Now, do you again? I know Coach is right behind you, so answer carefully. Do you prefer softball or basketball? Which one's your favorite?
I'd probably say softball. I just feel like I'm more comfortable on the softball field than basketball court. Yeah.
Now, what is a Coach Hurst practice like?
He tries to keep it fun while
Yeah.
still trying to, get things done, which is nice. I really like all of our practices. Recently, we've been practicing in the gym because of all the weather and
Yes,
stuff.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think we do a really good job of just trying to keep our focus and doing a good job while under these conditions.
Great.
Fair enough.
Well, good luck
Like
this
it.
season.
Thank you.
I'll be looking for you out there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, let's see who we have next.
So I'm Deli Albrecht, and I play outfield. So
Nice.
Yeah.
That's our favorite position.
Oh,
We love
okay.
our
Yeah.
We're both outfielders.
yeah, that's where it's at.
Absolutely it is, man. You're out there in the grass,
Yeah,
not in
yeah.
the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who wants to be in the
No one wants to go
not dirt.
play in the dirt. Come
No.
on.
What position any position out there?
No, I'm good anywhere.
Center, left, right?
Yeah, I don't have a
What-
preference.
What's you don't even have a preference?
No, No, anywhere I can get in, I'm ready to go.
So you don't even prefer playing center because you're the boss out there. You can call off the right fielder. You can call off the
if you
left
get a
fielder.
good read and you call it first, I mean, center, is she going to call you off? She might. But
Center
if
field-
you get a good read, she can still
She
call you
can
off.
still
but
call
if
you
call
off.
It first,
She's the boss.
yeah, you just have to depending on-
Yeah. How's your arm? What's your arm like?
Semi-decent.
Semi-decent.
You know, it depends on the
Dude,
play.
her body language was like,
Was like,
oh,
don't ask me
I
that
can
question.
No, it was like, I can throw anybody out at any time. I thought for sure you were going to like, oh, I have
yeah.
a cannon. I have a cannon.
Yeah.
I mean, you must though, right?
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see. I don't know.
All right. Well, what do you prefer? Would you rather be out there throwing someone out, as a round in first, going to second, throwing them out there at second, or would you rather be up to bat and hit a double yourself?
Oh, throw them out anytime.
That
yeah.
has been the common.
That's the
I
common
don't know.
answer.
It's just the best thing. So.
Yeah, we've had a
I
common
like hitting
answer.
doubles is what I like
see.
doing.
Yeah, we've had a common answer though among everybody that's been in here. We had Pineview in here before you as well.
Yeah.
Defense.
That's not-
Everyone loves playing defense.
All right.
I mean, you'll take it though if
Yeah.
you enjoy it. It is a fun feeling though, right? To be able to
Yeah.
make a big play and a good play.
Mhm.
There's something about that,
Backing
right?
up your pitcher, nothing's better. So.
That's right.
Now, do you play any other sports?
I don't.
No, just
No,
softball.
Just softball.
Are you junior, senior?
I'm a senior.
Senior.
Yeah.
All right, so going into your senior season, then what are you trying to accomplish here in this season? Of course, we've heard the answer of I just want to go out there and have fun.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying I want to go out there and I want to, I want to beat our rivals. What is it that you're looking forward to
See,
this season?
I'm ready to have some fun. That's why I love the sport. Right now, I'm injured, so I can't even play. So right now, you just got to have a good attitude and keep the team up and have fun that way. So.
Okay, well, this goes to our next question, one that we kind of prefaced before we got on air, which is being in the dugout supporting your team means you got to have a good cheer.
Oh, yeah.
What is your favorite cheer?
Any wait, any good eye. Like if there's a ball, and every good eye cheer has my heart, if that makes sense. So anything that way, yeah.
Dude, she's spunky. She hasn't stayed still yet. She's
I know.
bouncing around.
Yeah.
God.
Fair enough.
That's awesome.
Yes, so-
Well, good luck this season.
Thank you so much.
Definitely be looking for you out there
Perfect.
for sure.
Thanks.
All right, who do we have next?
She's great now. A little shorter.
You can pull that down.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you're good.
My name's McKinley Wright. I'm a junior.
McKinley. What position do you play, McKinley?
I catch and play shortstop.
What's your nickname? Is it Nin? Is it Kinley? Kinley mostly.
or Kin.
Okay. And I'm sorry, what position? Shortstop?
Catcher and shortstop.
Catcher and shortstop. Oh my goodness, those are two worlds apart. What's your favorite? Is it catching?
Catcher
Is it
for sure.
really? You love putting on all the gear and
Yep. I usually catch for her. She's my best friend. We usually pitch and catch together. It's really fun.
now in softball, you can throw people out, right?
Yeah. It's so fun.
That's a great
it's
feeling.
the best feeling. You throw
Great
it down
feeling.
there and they're out by a mile.
Because the thing with softball, it's so much quicker than baseball. With your bases being
Yeah.
only 60 feet apart, it just seems like it moves so much faster. And as a catcher, I mean, that's a tough throw out.
Yeah, things happen really fast. If they get a good jump on you and sometimes you're not prepared with maybe a ball that's getting away from you, then they're probably safe. So you really got to do your job.
Now, would you rather throw someone out at second or have them not paying attention at first and you're able to kind of backpick them,
Probably throw them out at second. That's when you practice the most, and I don't know, you're just really excited about it. Get them it too.
Fair enough.
And do you play any other
Because you're not
sports?
I play volleyball.
Volleyball.
Yes.
And did you say you're a junior or senior?
I'm a junior.
Okay.
Okay.
And what position on the volleyball court do you play? Libero or
Just
a
defense,
setter?
back
Just
row.
defense, back row. Okay.
Very good.
I do love volleyball.
I also love volleyball. Volleyball's great fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, well, thanks for stopping in. I don't know if Mark, do you have any questions for her?
Did we ask all?
I don't know. Did we?
I don't know. I'm the old guy of this group. You're the young guy.
I know. I don't remember anything. Yeah, we'll just say thank you.
Okay,
You're amazing.
thank you.
We'll
Yeah.
be looking for you out there on the diamond for
Let's
sure.
see. Who do we have up here next? Introduce yourself.
I'm Audrey Montua, and I play second, and I'm a senior.
And do you play other sports?
No, just softball.
Just softball.
So what
Man,
is it? What is
I'll bet
it about?
I bet the basketball coach wishes you'd play basketball.
What is it about softball that draws in your attention? Like you say, you're only a softball player. What is it about the sport that you love?
I love my teammates, and they just make the sport fun. And it's just the environment that I liked getting dirty in the infield. It's about
Did you say what position you played?
second base.
Second base. You like turning that double play?
Yeah. It's very fun.
It's very fun, isn't it? What would you rather do, though, between being out at second base on defense or, again, in the batter's box, hitting a double or triple? Which one do you prefer?
I feel like getting a double out.
Thank you.
A double play would be better than.
Oh, Mark.
Sorry.
She psyched you out.
I thought she said hitting a double would be better.
A double play is just not as common, I feel like, as hitting a double. So it just makes it more fun.
That's fair. That's a good answer because I like that. You're not always turning a double play.
No, you're not.
So,
But God, doubles in the
And you're
gap.
getting majority of the outs in the inning, so it just feels.
yeah, see,
I know.
you have the right answer there.
I
like
don't
the
know.
answer.
I don't know if
Sorry.
you do have the right answer. I don't know. I'm just teasing.
No, I like that answer. What's something that you've been working on this season?
Probably my mental game, like IQ and confidence.
That's good. That's always tough. Sometimes the mental game might be the hardest part of the game, right? I was one of those kids who was stupid, and I was a runner, and I ran track and cross country. But like that's one of the hardest parts with that sport is keeping the
mental.
mind into it, right? It goes for every sport though, softball included. So that's awesome. It's tough though, right?
Yeah, it's definitely tough.
Now, I'm going to ask you. I waited a couple of players to ask. I asked the first, but I'm going to ask you now too. What's a Coach Hurst practice like?
Coach Hirsch is a very nice, chill coach, so it's not like it's like a chill practice, but still like we get our stuff done, and I really enjoy the practices.
And you guys start region play this week, right?
Yes,
Who do you guys have this week?
we have Snow Canyon.
Last night's game's canceled, right? Do you guys play tonight, tomorrow?
We're rescheduled for tomorrow.
It's rescheduled for tomorrow. Is it in Hurricane?
Yes,
Okay.
but
Is it tough to play in Hurricane because everyone talks about again, it's Hurricane for a reason. It's windy there. Can it be tough to play sometimes with the way that the weather just somehow hits Hurricane a little different?
the weather's definitely bipolar. But I feel like we practice in the wind, so we're
So you
used
get
to
used
it.
to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
Have you ever hit one? You're just like, oh, I hit the sweet spot on that, and then the wind just blows it and keeps it in. You ever had that?
I think yeah.
Yeah. She's had that.
Everyone else is like, we've all had that. Yeah, it's not fun.
Or have you ever had the opposite though too, where you hit one and it just carries and
Yes.
goes? They're all shaking their head yes.
Definitely
So
helps.
do your teammates give you crap about? Oh, that was wind aided. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we will be looking for you out there on the diamond as well. Good luck to the Tigers this season.
Thank you.
We've got such a tough region, and if you can be in the mix with those teams as well, you'll do well at state. So good luck to you ladies, and we'll be looking for you out there.
Thank you.
You betcha. Yep.
All right, there you have it. It is the Hurricane Tigers softball team. We're going to take a break and return with more right after this on From the Bleachers. Welcome back in, everybody. It's from the Bleachers, Kaden Foremaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
It was fun having a couple of softball teams in here today to start off the show. I say start, but I mean, we're now almost our first hour down.
You know, it really is. I just love having these girls in here because they're just a lot of fun. And one thing that I really appreciate with the girls, and again, not that the boys don't. The boys appreciate the coverage that they get, but they do get a lot of coverage.
Yeah, that's true.
And one thing about the girls is they really appreciate every bit of media coverage that they get, because I think sometimes they, not that they would ever say this, or maybe they don't even feel it, but they probably don't feel like they get the coverage that the boys do.
Yeah.
And they work just as hard as the boys. But I love giving them their time because I know they appreciate it, and they're just a lot of fun to have in studio. My goodness.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty hyped up to be here, and I don't know, they just different energy.
Yeah,
a different energy. And it's a great energy.
It is.
It's great. It's so much fun to have them in here.
And it gets me. You know, you get to know them a little tiny bit, and I mean, I know people that know me know that I'm Thunder, you know, through and through, but it gets me rooting for individual players to have great seasons, and you get to know them a little bit, and it's very difficult to cheer against them.
Yeah.
Or not root for them, I should say. I'm rooting for all these girls to have great seasons. That spunky one from Hurricane just barely, dude. She could not stand still, and you could tell she was having fun.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they came in and they were like, we didn't know we were going to be on camera. And it was just like, oh, well, yep, here you are.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like, it just wasn't fully expecting it. I'm like, yeah, well, it's part of the fun, being able to have the live stream, right? So we can come in and actually see what's happening in the studio. So it was great to have them on.
It really is. And Hurricane, again, the Tigers starting off really good here in the preseason. They're 5-2 in the preseason. So they're off to a really good start. Desert Hills is second right now, 7-4 overall in girls softball. Crimson Cliffs, the Lady Mustangs, they're 4-3. The Lady Flyers are 4-5. Lady Warriors are 4-6. The Pineview Panthers, Lady Panthers that we just had in here, they're 2-3. And Cedar is the Lady Reds. They're sitting 1-3 right now. Not too many games played for the Lady Reds, but you know it's going to be a tough region to try to dominate. In fact, I don't think any team is going to dominate this year. I don't think we're going to see like an 11-1 run like the Warriors had last year. Not saying that they can't do it. There's just so many good teams this year. It wouldn't surprise me at all if, you know, first place is 8-4.
Yeah.
Right around there. 9-3 maybe, but 8-4. Somewhere right around there, because there are some really good softball teams this year.
There's some talent. Major talent right now. So it's fun to be able to have them in, like you said, to hear their personalities, but at the same time, it's fun to, know who they are. And then when they go out and perform, it's like, man, these guys are good.
Yeah.
You know? And you're right about that these teams have, they have some competition out there. The competition's brewing right now in Region 10. So softball's not any different than any other sport. The competition is there, and it's fierce, and you can tell talking to Hurricane, and those girls just want to go out and they want to have fun, but you can tell they also want to win some games. You know, they're
sure.
Talking about Snow Canyon coming up, and you could tell they were like, yeah, we definitely want to get them. You know, so it'll be fun. That game is, of course, coming up. The one yesterday being canceled with weather, but games this week though.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be fun.
And when those games are completed on Thursday, we'll go over them. We'll cover them on Friday and talk about them and see who had good games. And hopefully we see some of these girls' names in the box score. And if they went 2 for 3 with 2 doubles, I'm going to call them out. How did that double feel? It had to have been better than catching a fly ball.
Yeah. Well, you got to see if they caught any fly balls as well and say, hey, which one was actually better? Which one do you remember more?
You know, it's so funny though that and these teams did not hear each other's interviews, and it's so funny that the answer to that question, would you rather hit a double in the gap or, make a great defensive play? All of them said a great defensive play. That just shocks me a little bit. I like to hit, man. There's nothing that feels better. The only thing that feels better than a double is a triple. The only thing that feels better than a triple is a home run.
Last year, you and I had this discussion about what is the best play in baseball, right?
Yeah, we did.
And we talked about everything from grand slams to triple plays to whatever, right? And the listeners were also a little split because we put out a poll on Twitter, and the listeners were split between grand slams and triples, if I remember right.
Uh-huh.
Now, more realistic, not everyone's going to hit a grand slam. Not everyone's going to be able to pull off a triple play.
Didn't we have that described as the most exciting play?
Maybe it was the most exciting.
I think
maybe
it was.
Not like what would be your favorite play to be a part of would maybe be the different question.
Because a grand slam, that's
hitting a grand slam is, I don't know if there's anything
tough, but
different.
But I still say
being a part of pulling a triple play is pretty amazing.
But I think hitting a triple is the most exciting play in baseball. A triple is the most exciting play in baseball. It's more exciting than a home run. It's more exciting than a double, obviously, and I think it's more exciting than a triple
what if
play.
I were to say an inside the park home run?
Now that would
is that even more than a triple?
That would bank up there with a triple. Yes, right there. I mean, yes,
this is
yes,
the concept.
Absolutely.
Because I get your concept here, and the idea is basically that you're booking it around the bases,
Yes.
and you get there and you're
Absolutely.
safe,
Yes.
right? Like that's the idea. And a triple's tough because you have to hit it kind of like the sweet spot out in right field.
Yeah.
Usually, right? That's usually how you're going to be able to snag one of those, and that's tough. It's not easy to go grab a triple. So. And even in softball, right? Softball is probably even more tough to grab a triple just because the field is smaller.
It's so small. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
But the bases are shorter too, so you get around them quicker, right? It's all about perspective, I guess.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's great. Hey, this show, again, we've talked a lot of softball already. The first hour of the show, we're wrapping it up right now. Coming up, though, in the next hour, we're going to be getting into what this next round of college basketball looks like. We're going to get into some of that. And a few other things. We'll probably talk a little NFL. There's been a couple of moves that have happened recently and whatnot. So stick around with all that as we get into the rest of the show. So let's get to a break, shall we? And we may be having another guest come in the second half of the show.
Our bracketologist.
Let's see if we can get him in as well. So, again, we're going to head to a break. And when we come back, more here on From the Bleachers. So stick around. Back at it here on From the Bleachers. Kaden Foremaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Broadcasting out of the Findlay Hyundai studio. Get more. Wow, I can't talk. Get more than you pay for at Findlay Hyundai.
Yes.
Man, if I could actually talk. It's
You
one
got-
of those days.
You got it out of there. You got it out.
We've been through a lot already today, talking with the Pineview Panthers softball team, talking
Yep.
with the Hurricane Tiger softball team, and made it through first hour of a show. Here we are.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
It was a quick, fast first hour.
And
That's for sure.
just FYI, being that we're going into Thursday, tomorrow, and Friday, and I know tournaments are taking place, we look to have Dixie and Cedar on next week. So keep an eye out for that. Have the Lady Flyers and Lady Reds in here, hopefully in studio. We might have to kind of time the Lady Reds maybe when they come down for a region play, a region game or something like that. But that's going to happen pretty much every week where they'll be coming down at some point. So we'll get that organized. We'll let everybody know. But, yeah, we've covered and got through everybody except for Dixie and Cedar, the two oldest schools in the region.
That's right. So we will, we'll get to those coming up next week, which will be fun, of course, to talk to them and see what they are expecting this season. And at this point, by the time we get them, they will be through preseason for the most part, and we're going to be into region play. It's crazy how fast the seasons move around here.
So I got a message last night from a listener.
Okay.
That said, you were close to me.
You were close.
Yeah.
About
describing the ending of the United States Japan game.
Hey,
I'm telling you,
you
baseball,
were close. I was thinking it when I saw it. When I saw it happen, I was like, "Hey, you know what? I'm giving it to you, Mark.
Yeah.
You might not have had the score right.
Yeah.
But you had the moment right.
The
I'll moment was right.
And again, thank you, Sean, for listening and shooting me that message this morning or last night. I certainly appreciate it. Like I said, baseball more so than any other sport. I truly believe this. It knows how to write the Hollywood story better than any other sport, better than football, better than basketball, better than hockey. Golf comes close, but not quite. I just truly believe that baseball just has a flair for the dramatics, more so than any other sport. And if you weren't listening yesterday, my prognosis was in the 9th inning, it's going to be Shohei on the mound. It's going to be Mike Trout in the batter's box, and that's what's going to decide the WBC Classic. I actually said that Trout would get the hit. That wasn't the case. The moment was correct. Just kind of, obviously I was rooting for USA to get that hit, but it wasn't to be. Shohei outshows his teammate Mike Trout. Unbelievable.
I have the moment pulled up.
Let's do it.
Should we check it out?
We have to.
All
yes.
right. Let's check this out here.
He throws. Trout strikes out swinging. Strikes out swinging.
You got him.
Man, I'll tell you what. I'll bet those two. I mean, they're probably back in spring training today, and I'll bet they're just
they're sitting back at spring training, just going like, yeah, well, you got me. It was the one time.
I'll tell you, Trout, you had the right guy up, and that's who you'd want up. I mean, he ended up going 1 for 5 for the night, not Trout-like. He had 3 strikeouts and 3 players left on base. So not a great outing for Mike Trout in the Classic, in the Championship Classic. So Mookie Betts goes 2 for 5. Trey Turner went 2 for 4. Those were the only 2 USA players to have multiple hits in last night's game. But man, what a world, what a WBC, what a World Baseball Classic.
It was.
My goodness.
Maybe one of the best sporting tournaments I've seen in a long time.
Tremendous.
And that goes for any sport at any level across the board. It was so good. And there's one thing to put a damper on all of this. The only thing that at all puts a damper on this is just the injuries that happened to some of MLB's best players, some of the world's best players. There were three big injuries to 3 big stars.
Yes, for sure.
If you can look past that in some way, and I know it's hard to look past that because it is a part of this whole experience, this was one of the best tournaments. And I will say the storybook finish made it just that much better. They always say it's hard not to be romantic about baseball, and there's a reason why. Because moments like that, they just tend to happen, right? 2 outs in the 9th.
Yeah.
It's your last chance to get some runs on the board and try to take this thing either into extra innings or stop Japan in their tracks and hold them off in the bottom of the 9th. But instead it comes into Shohei, a Los Angeles Angel, striking out Mike Trout, a Los Angeles Angel. Like, come on.
Trout, you got to put the ball in play,
and
bro.
by the way, 2 MVPs.
Yeah.
You know, both MVPs in their own right that play on the same team. So the 2 best players, not only from the same MLB franchise, but maybe the 2 best players out there on the field.
You know, there's a lot of truth to that, and you know, there's going to be some people argue, but the Angels do have arguably the 2 best players in baseball right now. Now, again, it is arguably, but even when you have the top 2 players, even if you throw in the word arguably, the Angels have to feel really good about that and just get them some depth in pitching. Angels, I just feel the Angels are wasting Mike Trout's career, and how the Angels don't do better with 2 of the best players. Now, I know Trout, again, when healthy, is the best, but that's been the knock on Trout lately, is just his health.
Yeah, you know, and I'm an Angels fan. I watched a lot of Angels games last year. Of all the games last year, I probably would, and there's a lot, I would say that I caught about 40 of the games, which when it comes to baseball, that seems like a lot to be able to catch 40 of them. With our schedules, 40 is a lot of games.
Right.
And in those games that I was able to catch, you could tell those 2 were definitely the best ones. Now, granted, again, Trout was injured during a lot of games last year.
Right.
But when he is healthy, he plays really well. But here's the problem, though. As you mentioned, pitching depth. What do you do for the Angels if you're in that situation? You got to get some pitchers in there. I know over the offseason they did get a few guys, but some left as well. Remember at the trade deadline, they traded away Brandon Marsh, who I would actually have said was a potential Golden Glove candidate with how well he was playing out there in left field.
Right.
Left or right, he kind of hopped back and forth. But then you go to, they get rid of Thor as well, right?
Right.
Noah Syndergaard.
Right.
They get rid of him and send them off to Philly. And look what they did. Those guys helped them get to a World Series. As a low seeded team, those 2 definitely played their part in helping the Phillies get to a World Series. And the Angels got rid of them for next to nothing. So, I don't know. It's just one of those teams that it's easy to be frustrated with.
I know, it really is.
When you have 2 of the top talents in the entire league and you still can't even make the playoffs, you can't even get a winning record.
I know.
Come on, guys. Like,
it
what
is
are you doing?
frustrating. And, and part of the problem, too, is, Mike Trout probably not going to go anywhere. He'll probably be an Angel for life. But Shohei, he is still in, I'd say the front 9 of his career, where he doesn't have to stay in Anaheim or Los Angeles. He could actually, you want to keep him for sure.
Yeah.
And if you don't surround him with better players, he's going to go somewhere where maybe he can be surrounded by better players and get into the playoffs and advance in the playoffs.
So Shohei and I are about the same age. He's 28, I'm 29. He'll turn 29 before I turn 30. So we're within a year, right? And being able to have that perspective of all right, I'm around his same age, and I look at what he's accomplished already, and it's like, look, he's still at that point in his life where it's like, you still have a lot of room ahead of you.
You're right.
So I would definitely say he's on the front 9 of his career. I would say he's probably around hole 6,
Yeah, for sure.
He's still very early in his career. If he can stay healthy and really he has for the most part. He really hasn't had tons of issues. If Shohei stays healthy, then he's got a good chance at a really solid career. I don't think he stays an Angel forever. I really don't. I think it's going to be really hard to keep both him and Mike Trout. Mike Trout's at that point in his career. I don't see him going anywhere. I agree with you on that. But who knows? Maybe it is one of those things where as a veteran free agent, Mike's like, maybe I want to go play closer to home. He's a Philly kid.
Yeah.
So maybe he wants to go, not necessarily play for the Phillies, but maybe go play somewhere closer to home.
Well, Phillies would be a good place to go, though.
Philly, right now it would be.
I mean,
and they
my
would love
goodness.
to have a Mike Trout on their team.
I was just going to say, Mike Trout, I would just love to see him in the postseason. And again, I hope the Angels don't waste him because I would love to see his dramatics in the postseason.
Yeah. So would I. I mean, he's the person you do want at bat in those moments. Like you mentioned last night, being up against Shohei.
Right.
That's a moment you want that guy out there in the batter's box anyways.
Right.
It just didn't work out for him. And what's crazy, I saw a stat, and I don't have it pulled up, so forgive me exactly what it is. He's only had like 24 swinging strikeouts in his career, and he's had how many thousands of at-bats, right?
Right.
So, he definitely had the upper hand last night as far as stats goes, but Shohei had the better of him.
Yeah, he did.
Shohei's just that good. He's a great pitcher.
But again, what a great win for baseball last night. Same thing against Mexico and was it Cuba or Mexico? Cuba and Japan was a big game, right? Wasn't it Cuba?
Mexico.
Was it Mexico and Japan?
Mexico and Japan. So the last game was Mexico and Japan.
Oh yeah, and Cuba and USA.
And USA blew out Cuba, but
Right,
the USA
right.
Venezuela game was really good.
That's right. So I jumped a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
So USA had to beat Venezuela,
Yeah.
which was the one that Trey Turner had the walk-off.
Right.
And then they breezed through Cuba in the semifinal, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they went obviously to play Japan. Japan had to get through Mexico, and Mexico gave them a run for their money too.
Yeah.
So
hopefully, you mentioned injuries earlier. Hopefully Nolan Arenado and Yohan Moncada aren't hurt too bad for their MLB teams. It is a shame. That's the only downfall to this WBC Classic is like you had mentioned, injuries.
Yeah.
To MLB players, and now their teams have to deal with that. But man, what a great World Baseball Classic. I can't wait for the next one now. I mean, that was tremendous, and anything that lifts baseball up is certainly gonna bode well in my book, because being a baseball guy, that was a lot of fun to follow for sure.
Yeah, it's always fun to get into a different side of baseball than just MLB, and I mean at least at a professional level, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was also really cool, and this is something that I wanted to point out, was Great Britain even making the World Baseball Classic. They don't have a national team. Like they kind of just throw one together.
Yeah.
For the World Baseball Classic. They don't have a league. They don't, baseball is just not a sport for them.
Right.
It's just really not. And so the fact that they were able to kind of get a team together to go play, and they were able to get their way into the World Baseball Classic.
Right.
That's a kind of a cool story in itself. A little bit of a Cinderella story of a team that shouldn't have even really been there.
Right.
It was like Jamaica and Cool Runnings, right? What are they doing there? That's always the question. Why are they there? That is not their sport, right? They don't do that sport in that country. They don't do baseball in Great Britain, right? But they were able to gather a team together, and they came over, and they were able to make their way into the actual tournament. And I'm like, hey, that's kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
I like that. So I don't know. There's a lot of storylines around the World Baseball Classic this year that have been really cool, really fun, and happy to have been able to witness it.
Right.
So, yeah, pretty
Hey,
good.
our next guest is here.
Our next guest is here.
So
Very good.
Let's take a break. That way
Take
we
a
have
little
a
bit of an
longer
early break.
We have a longer middle segment
I
there.
love it. All right, then. Let's take a break. More coming up next on From the Bleachers, so stick around. Welcome back in, everybody. It's from the Bleachers. Kaden Foremaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
We got a guest in the studio as well as we are about to get into some college basketball conversations here.
Now, Patrick, before we get going, we have Patrick Amico in studio. Before we get going, I feel that your wife still does not fully forgive me for saying the wrong last name when I'm introducing Trey at a youth football game. You know, for some reason, I had just got done announcing Trey Allred for 4 years at Desert Hills Athletics because he played basketball, he played baseball. And so when I saw the first name Trey, Allred came out and not Amico, and I still don't think Jen has fully forgiven me yet.
You made up for it plenty with the commentary of the game. He did an unbelievable job, and he definitely gave Trey some extra shout outs.
I did try to make it up for sure, because that is one person I never ever want to be in her bad corner is your wife Jen. We love her, but I never want to be in on her bad side for sure.
Not when it comes to Mama Bear either.
No way, man.
Don't
no
mess with those
way.
cubs.
Oh my gosh, you've got really athletic boys. You guys have been busy with youth sports too. Just update us a little bit on those little turds.
Goodness. Yeah, they're all over the place. We keep them busy. We like to keep them doing things. I don't want them on a TV or playing video games or anything like that. So they're playing everything from basketball, football, golf, soccer, and they're loving it. And they just start my two younger boys just started lacrosse.
Oh man,
7-on-7 starting for my older two. So it's just madness everywhere. But what better way to do it? And St. George is such a great place, and we're in the Crimson Boundaries, and Coach Wayne Alofapo, with the head football coach, is out there helping these young kids.
Yeah,
even at this age, like he cares that deeply about his program. But it's not just Coach Wayne. I know Coach Monkers does it over at Dixie, Desert Hills, Coach Barry before he just left. So it's all over the state or all over the city, and it's a great thing to see.
Yeah, I love that too about all the varsity coaches. They'll get out and help those 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th graders. When it comes to techniques and the fundamentals and stuff like that, they do. Every time that we asked them to come out, Coach Frankie, Coach anybody would actually come out and certainly help us. So it's a lot of fun, man. Enjoy it, because my youngest is a senior in high school, and I'm telling you, I know you've heard this before, it just goes by so fast. So enjoy the moment, live in it, Patrick.
It does go by.
It does.
I'm realizing it now, looking back, and it's crazy. I mean, my son's a couple years away from high school, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, it goes by fast. So enjoy it. I know you will. Hey, let's talk about a little college basketball, though, man. Kaden, you on board with that? I've been kind of taking over. I'm sorry.
If it's talking basketball, I'm always on board. And I will say right now, my bracket's doing well, so I'm ready for it to get mixed up though in the next round.
Before we jump into the field, the Sweet 16 bracket, let's talk a little bit about a Utah team that's playing a 4th-seeded Cincinnati Bearcat team. Patrick, what are their chances?
And not just playing, but hosting.
Yeah, hosting.
A quarterfinal NIT game. This is huge for Utah Valley University. It's huge for the WAC. It's on ESPN2 tonight, and it's going to be a great game. Coach Madsen does such a good job of messing with the defense, manipulating the defense. So what he does, he has a big 7-footer in Aziz Bandango, and he'll put Aziz in different ball screen coverages to where he'll make the help side defender make a decision. He has a great shooter in Latrey Darthard, Trey Woodbury, and as Justin Harmon, that point guard, comes downhill, he's making what they would call the tag guy, the guy that's guarding off the ball, whether it's Latrey or Trey, make a decision. Is he going to go help on the big? If he does, snap it over for a wide open 3. If not, they throw it up for that lob, and UVU, it seems to get 3 or 4 of those lobs every game to Bandango. But Madsen's done an unbelievable job there the last couple of years, and they're at home in the UCCU Center. I think they only have 1 loss this year. That's a tough place to play. Cincinnati's been on the road for most of this NIT run, as has UVU, but now they're back home. I think UVU has a great chance tonight to beat Cincinnati and go to the Final Four. Sadly, the NIT Final Four was always at Madison Square Garden. They're moving it down to Vegas this year at the Orleans Arena, so it doesn't have that same pop to it.
Yeah.
But you're still in the NIT Final Four.
Right. Right.
I mean, it still is kind of nice, I guess you could say, because they're at least close to home. You'd hope
Yeah.
the fan base can travel well if they do make it onto that next round. And they have a good chance, of course, playing at home. That's going to give them an advantage in some way here. But I've seen UVU play this season, and they are very good. So I'd love to see them make it into that Final Four.
Yeah.
And that's a 7:00 tip-off tonight. But what is going to be UVU's go-to? Like, what are their chances in this game?
They've got to be able to handle the pressure that Cincinnati's going to give. Cincinnati's going to press. They're going to be up in them. You've seen UVU struggle with that at times this year. I think as they get deep into their bench, they're fine when their starters are on the floor, when Trey or Justin Harmon are controlling the ball. When they get deeper into the bench and Blaze Neal's in the game or Jaden McClanahan, that's when they struggle. That's where you saw against SUU when they were up 23 in the second half and lost that game in the WAC semis.
Right.
The pressure of SUU got to UVU, the constant ball pressure, the traps, those things. And that's what Cincinnati does. And if UVU can handle the ball, not limit their turnovers around 10 or 12, they're going to win this game. And I think they'll win it by 8 to 10 points if they limit their turnovers to around 10 to 12.
Vegas has them favored. Has UVU favored.
Wow.
So
I
close
mean, they
game.
should.
Close. I mean, 1.5 points, but yeah.
I think they should have them favored. This is one of those games where they should be favored. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, they're at home, one of the best home winning percentage. I mean, 13, 14, and 1. So
that'll be fun. So that's on where we can catch that, ESPN Plus?
ESPN 2.
ESPN 2. So, yeah, 7:00 tip-off time. That will be great. I will be at the baseball field. We got high school baseball tonight, but I'll certainly be checking my phone probably nonstop, kind of keeping an eye on this game for sure. Hey, let's switch over to the Sweet 16. Let's go over a few of the matchups
Can
over
I
there.
give Caden a hard time really quick?
Absolutely.
He is a basketball guy. So I love Caden because we speak the same language.
Hear me out.
But as I'm pulling up to the station, he just said that the WBC was the best tournament ever. What? We're in the
Hear
best
me out.
tournament ever.
Hear me out. It was, as far as the drama goes, it was great for drama. Now, I will say it does have to compete with March Madness. There's really, as far as tournaments go, there's no more historic, I would say, even at this point, than March Madness. Of course, of course, that's a top tier tournament. But I will say the WBC this year is going to be giving them a run for their money. If you have to rank all of the tournaments in sports that have happened this year, I think WBC is going to be very high on that list.
And Caden, though, he's a people pleaser. And he was
It's
talking.
true.
You are, absolutely.
100%.
And he was talking to a baseball guy. So
Okay.
I think he was just trying to appease,
Okay.
the baseball gods.
And we had the softball teams in here earlier.
We had the
so he was
softball
just on that field.
Absolutely.
Now understand this.
And he's an Angels fan, and
It's
the
true.
Angels,
Now-
Shohei and Mike Trout.
Now hear this, though. This tournament, as far as the college basketball is concerned, it's not over yet. There is a chance that this could be a better tournament. It's not done yet. So until it's done, I'm not changing my answers. I'm gonna hold strong to you. So yeah.
Well, it's been quite the tournament. A 16 seed getting a win. Princeton, a 15, getting 2 wins. Tons of upsets, tons of drama. All the blue bloods are now sitting at home watching this.
Incredible.
It's been an unbelievable tournament.
Yeah. Hey, let's start in the South. Let's start with that Bama San Diego State game. Where do you see that one going? Does Bama continue to move on? Is there a slight upset here? I have Bama actually in the final. I actually have Bama winning the national championship. What's your thoughts on Bama?
I have Bama winning it as well.
Okay.
I did 3 or 4 brackets, and I had one champion. And in years past, I've had a couple teams that, maybe this team could do it. Maybe it's Houston. But this Alabama team's different. The only thing that's going to stop Alabama is the law. And that's if Brandon Miller gets in trouble for everything that's already gone on. And I know you guys have hit on it everywhere. I'm locked into the fan all day, and it's talked about constantly.
Yeah.
I really think that's the only thing that get in Bama's way. San Diego State's a very good team. I think if they're in any other region as a 5 seed, they have a chance to beat Houston, or they'd have a chance to beat Kansas, one of those teams. But Alabama's just tough.
Yeah.
They do it at every single position. I like Bama in that game, but San Diego State will keep it close. It's not going to be a blowout like Bama's had against Maryland or in that first round against Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the next game underneath it, because this is a game no one expected to really exist at all.
It's Cinderella.
I mean, it really is. Creighton, sure, right? That's a team that a lot of people had moving on. That's fine. Princeton? Come on.
Cinderella's going home.
Had Princeton.
Isn't Cinderella going home?
The glass slipper has to be off.
Yeah, it
it's
does.
done.
Yeah.
The shock of beating Arizona was amazing. And the reason,
Yeah.
Arizona, I felt there was two teams, again, that could have really come out of this. That was Bama and Arizona. But you have to have good guards to win in March Madness. You just do.
Yes.
And Arizona's guards are not there. That's the one thing that's held them up all year long, and it bit them in the first round. But Princeton's a great team, but Creighton is so well coached. They have a week now to prepare, and they'll be marching on to the Elite Eight, and that one I don't think will be close. I think it'll get ugly pretty quick.
Swapping over to the Midwest bracket side of the bracket, we got Houston going up against Miami. Any upset there?
No, I don't think so. I was with you. I had Drake beating Miami. I was surprised.
I know.
Miami got one of their starters back for the tournament, which he was not supposed to. All reports indicated that he was going to miss the NCAA tournament. He came back. They obviously bounced Drake and then blew Indiana out, which is a bit of a shocker. But I think Houston's getting healthier as the weeks go on, and they're going to be a tough team to beat.
I will say, too, that this is the one side of my bracket that in this specific part is perfect. I got all those 4 teams.
Isn't that nice seeing that nice, clean?
I love looking at it, and it's all green.
Mine's
it's just a
red,
bunch of green.
Got X's on it.
Yeah, I like seeing it green right now. Again, yeah, I got Houston, Miami, Xavier, and Texas. You mentioned Houston, though. They're getting healthy, hopefully at the right time, and it seems like this should be one of those matchups that they should be able to get through Miami, move on to the next round.
Absolutely. Now, Miami's battle tested. They regular season ACC champions, so they've seen Duke, they've seen Carolina, but I just think this Houston team is destined to get to Houston to the Final Four. I actually have Texas coming out of this region, but I didn't think Houston would get healthy in time, but it looks like they are. Like you said, Kaden, they're ready to roll.
The Xavier-Texas matchup, is that going chalk? Texas advance?
I would think so, but it's going to be a heck of a game. Xavier, again, so well coached, as all of these teams are, right, when you get to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
But Texas, they're playing for their coach. Their head coach, midway through the season, was let go. He had a legal matter. So they have an interim coach, Rodney Terry, and the guys love him. The alumni love him. KD's giving him shout-outs. Everyone wants him to be hired to get that interim tag removed, and the school won't pull it. They're trying to get a hold of Billy Donovan. They're trying to get a hold of all these big-time coaches, and everyone's turned it down so far. So I think Texas is really playing for their head coach.
Yeah.
And they can get a win or two, maybe get to the Final Four. I think that interim tag will come off.
Definitely something great that he'll have on his resume for sure. Leading those men to a deep run in March Madness. So, yeah, absolutely. Where should we go next, Kaden? Should we go down to the East and save that big matchup for last?
Yeah, let's go down to the East, and let's talk about a matchup that, again, another one of these that really shouldn't have existed in the first place. You have FAU and Tennessee. Tennessee may be, of course, a 4 seed, sure, but with Purdue getting out so early, that side is just a little weird.
It is.
It's ugly.
What a shocker in the first round. And even Tennessee, another team that limped into the tournament the last couple of weeks, they really struggled. I didn't think they'd get past Duke. I actually thought Duke or K-State were kind of my 2 teams to come out of this region. But I think Tennessee's going to get to that Elite Eight. Florida Atlantic, it's been great. They're 30-3, I believe, going into the NCAA tournament. But now you're playing another big-time school, playing a school out of the SEC. So this is the biggest team they've played since the non-conference, right? They played Memphis, who's in the AAC. They played Fairleigh Dickinson, who's in a smaller league, 300 Ken Palm team. Now you're playing Tennessee. You're playing one of the top dogs. I think Tennessee's size, length, athleticism gives FAU a lot of problems.
I wanted to ask you too, Patrick. We're going to continue on this, but I do have a question. Do you miss the olden days with these, the blue blood programs, the Kansases, the Kentuckys, the Dukes, the North Carolinas, UCLAs, those programs? Do you miss those players that stayed 4 years? Do you miss those days?
Absolutely.
I do too.
This transfer portal, and you see it hitting our teams.
And the ones and dones and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's NIL, it's money.
Yeah.
It's who's going to pay me the most. Arizona had a player go in the portal today. He led the Pac-12 in assists. And all they're talking about is how much money can he get for his next school. 500, 600,000. Baycott, the big kid from North Carolina, is coming back for his senior year. They're saying he's going to make more on his NIL deal than he would in his rookie contract in the NBA.
Wow.
So why are you going to leave?
Right.
So money is really getting into it. I hate it, honestly, but it's what this game is. So now as coaches, we have to evolve. We have to figure out where we're going to get NIL from.
Mm-hmm.
How can we do that? How can we help these players? And then the transfer portal. And it's calling every single day, trying to get a hold of kids, trying to build that relationship. We're a lot like you're in the relationship business with sales. That's how we are as basketball coaches. This is the relationship business. So we're trying to build that trust with a potential student athlete as quick as possible, and then with his family to try to get him to trust us to come to our school.
Yeah.
So how do you get into that then? Because again, with NIL, it just seems like the second it feels like you get a foot in the door with a kid, they come play for you for a year, or and then it's like, well, I'm ready to move on now, right? It's tough right now because we talked about this when you were on the show with me a few weeks back, and we were talking about the wild, wild west of NIL, and it feels like that at times.
And all these kids are getting poached, and that's the sad thing is you look at smaller programs, mid-major programs. They go get a freshman. You have two options. He's either going to not play. He's going to get calls from his AAU and his high school coach. You need to transfer. I already have calls from such and such school. You can come over here. Or if they play as underclassmen, then they're getting calls from bigger schools. Hey, you dropped 10 points a game at blank college. Now you can go here to a Power 5. And it really makes it tricky. But, again, it's relationships. And if these kids trust you and believe in you, and if they know that you have, in your heart what's best for them, you have a chance to keep them.
Yeah.
But, sadly, money is driving this sport, and that's the way it's going to be for a while. I don't know if the NCAA will ever be able to get on top of this, because what they're saying is if Mark Musgrave's going to college and making $1 million a year, why can't such and such basketball player go and make $1 million a year? That's not fair.
And once you've given away the keys to the car,
It's over.
You can't take them back. It's just too difficult. Okay, back to the bracket. K-State, Michigan State.
This is going to be a good one, and I hope my wife's not listening because she has K-State going to the Final Four, but Michigan State's going to be tough to beat. I mean, Tom Izzo.
Yeah, Tom Izzo,
baby. Are you kidding me? What he does every single year in this tournament. Watch out. I think Michigan State might be favored in this game, but they are the 7 seed, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was an upset there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's one of those games that I kind of have circled on my calendar for some reason, and to me, it's just because as a 7 seed, Michigan State just is such an anomaly for a 7 seed. You don't know what they're going to do, and it's really exciting. And I think the reason I do like it so much is because that's the side of the bracket that, for me, is completely busted. I had Marquette going through, and I had them beating Purdue in the Elite Eight, and now both of them are long gone now. So I don't really care about that side of the bracket as much. So I can see it I feel like I can see it through a little bit less clouded vision, and I look at that game specifically. Kansas State, Michigan State. It's going to be fun. It might be a little bit of a brawl there.
Yeah, it will. And I saw something earlier that 12 of these 14 teams have never won a national championship before.
Wow, that's incredible.
Michigan State, UCLA, UConn, and
UConn won, right?
No, yeah, these are the four that
those
have.
are the one that won.
And,
Okay,
yeah. And Gonzaga?
Gonzaga never has.
No, Texas maybe. So those 4 have, but you're looking at 12 teams that have never won it. So as much as I just said, I think Michigan State will win. I hope Jerome Tang and Kansas State can pull this upset, because that would get rid of another team that's been there before.
Yeah.
And as we get down to the Elite Eight and we have maybe 6 teams that have never won a national championship, that's going to be new eyes. It's going to bring, I just think, even more excitement to Houston in the Final Four.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, over to the west side. We'll save the big game for the last one. Arkansas, UConn.
That's going to be everyone is looking at this Gonzaga-UCLA matchup because of the last couple of tournaments.
Yeah.
With Gonzaga hitting the big shot to win it. Obviously, 2 teams really close to each other. But this Arkansas-UConn game is going to be really good. Arkansas was a top 5 team earlier in the season. UConn was number 1 in the country early in the season. These are 2 teams that can really play, again, a lot like San Diego State. I feel like if they weren't matched up against each other, they were in another region, they could get to a Final Four. This is going to be a ball game. I think the must-bust ends there. I think UConn gets the win, and advances down to the Elite Eight.
Well, they will play back-to-back, so that game starts at, I believe this is Eastern time, 7:15 East. Would that be, is that an Eastern time?
Correct.
So 5:15 here. And then right after that game will be Gonzaga UCLA.
That's going to be a ball game. That's going to be a lot of fun. Mark Few, Mick Cronin, two unbelievable coaches, unbelievable players. I think this UCLA team, I'd like Gonzaga to finally win it.
Yeah, me too.
I really would. I don't have them. I have UCLA coming out here, but I'd really like it for Mark Few and those guys to finally win it. But I think this UCLA team, Jaime Jaquez, Tiger Campbell, they're veterans. They came back for this moment to try to get to a Final Four, and I think UCLA will be too much, but I would not be upset if my bracket was wrong and Gonzaga marched on.
Now UCLA had an injury last game. Was it last game or was it the game before that?
They had one in the conference tournament and then another one last game as well.
And does that change your thoughts at all?
It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't help, right?
Yeah.
Don't feel as comfortable with UCLA. They're now 2 guys shorter on the bench. So instead of 7, 8 solid guys, they're down to 6 or 7 solid. But again, I just think the senior leadership or upperclassmen leadership with UCLA is going to be too much. I mean, Jaime Jaquez, Pac-12 Player of the Year, Tiger Campbell, Jalen Clark, really good team. I like UCLA to go all the way to the Final Four.
That's going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. That's one of those that I have on my bracket, UCLA Gonzaga. I do have UCLA going through, but I'm with you, Pat, where I'm like, I don't care if I'm wrong on this one because both of those teams in a lot of ways, you know, they are very deserving. Gonzaga's a program that they've been good for so long, but just have never been able to get over that certain threshold of actually getting a win, right?
Yep.
And when is it finally going to be their year? I just don't know if it is this year. They have a tough road ahead of them. And even if they do get through UCLA, what happens if they have to go and face UConn? UConn's no walk in the park. And then you get through that. Okay, now you got to take on, Texas or Houston or, you know, it's like, and then from there, Alabama. I mean, their road to a championship would be one of the toughest roads out there right now that's left in the bracket.
Well, unlike you two, I will be pissed if the Zags don't pull it off because I'm trying to catch Kaden in the bracket challenge, and that's one that we have different. I have Gonzaga winning this game, going on to face Bama in the national championship game. So, yeah, I'm going to be pissed.
What's the friendly wager between you two? Because I've heard the banter all week.
Technically, the wager is nothing, but we probably should have.
We should have.
You got to come up with something. Somebody, it has to be like the fantasy football team that takes last. The loser has to do something. You guys are on YouTube now.
Yeah.
It's all keyed up.
True.
You could come in, you know, dress them up as a cheerleader or something. You got to do something fun. Get viewership to the YouTube page.
I agree. I think we need to come up with something, and maybe we'll introduce it tomorrow.
Maybe.
Because we have to do it before the game tomorrow.
That's true. That's true.
You're up right now, Kaden. So
we got to get into it. I don't know what it's going to be, but we'll figure out something.
I'll think it's something.
Yeah, because Mark's really been the one pushing it. I never once have claimed to have the best bracket out there, but Mark has said, I'm going to beat every other person that's on air here on the Fan Sports Network. I'm going to have the best bracket. And
I'm going to beat Double D, Connor, Prediction Paul.
Where's Double D's bracket? He didn't get in, did he?
Is he not?
He's in.
Oh,
He's
okay.
in there.
I thought you were talking about the office pool. My fault.
Oh, gotcha. I don't know about the office pool. He's in the fan one.
Okay.
But I don't know if he's in the office pool or not. I just keep track of the fan one.
And I do, and we both do know that Devin was pretty much at the bottom in that.
Yeah, so I pulled it up, and he was fourth from last in the fan pool.
Oh, Double D, we love having you.
Yeah. So hey, you know what? This does make for a fun couple of days here of basketball.
Dev just texted in. He said he has the Zags winning it all.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Like I said, Dev, it's a tough road. It's a tough road for him. But we'll see what they can pull off. So, any last thoughts coming into this next section of games here?
No, I think it's going to be a great weekend. I think we have an unbelievable Sweet 16 tomorrow night's games. I mean, I'm going to be locked in.
Incredible.
It starts a little slow with Tennessee and FAU getting it started, but UConn and Arkansas, actually, sorry, they're the night game. So Kansas State, Michigan State, unbelievable game. UConn, Arkansas is going to be an unbelievable game, and everyone's going to be locked into the Zags UCLA game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great game. And again, what story are we going to learn from this weekend? What Cinderella team is going to step up next? Is FAU going to upset Tennessee and have a chance to go to a Final Four? is Houston and Bama just on a collision course as the top 2 teams to meet in Houston for a national championship. And you might have 2 Texas schools in the Elite 8 playing to go to Houston, with Houston and Texas just a game away from playing each other. There's a ton of drama.
Does Princeton still wear the glass slipper?
So much.
I mean,
my goodness.
Mark, if you could redo your Final Four right now with the 16 teams remaining, who would it be?
I've still got 3 out of 4 of my Final Four.
But you still feel comfortable with those 3.
I still feel good with Bama playing Gonzaga in the championship.
Okay.
I really do. Then I had Texas, and Purdue's been my one Final Four team that has let me down, as it let probably most of America down. So I'm feeling good, even with the upsets, having 3 out of 4 Final Fours still left.
Who would be your team in that bottom, the East?
In the East, like who's still in it?
Yeah.
Boy, I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be FAU. It wouldn't be.
I'm going with Kansas State.
I'm going to go Michigan State.
Michigan State.
Yeah, I'd go Kansas.
So
Kansas State.
You go Michigan State, Alabama.
I go
on that other side.
Yeah, I think I do.
It's a good one. That's the great thing about this tournament.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, and I will say this for myself, Michigan State's a close second over there, but it all comes down to this one game, right? Kansas State, Michigan State. Who's going to take it home? I have no idea. It's going to be a good one. I'm excited about this upcoming matchup there.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be way fun. All right, we got to get to a break. So when we come back, we're going to be wrapping up the show. Stick around with us here on From the Bleachers. More, of course, coming up next. Back at it here in the Findlay Hyundai studio, broadcasting live. It's Kaden Foremaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
It's from the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network.
And we still have Patrick Amico in studio as well, and I want to include him in this because I want to see how smart you two are. Now, Kaden claims to be...
I have useless knowledge. That's
he
all
does
I'm
have
good
useless
for.
knowledge.
That's all I'm good for. But, yeah, we'll see.
Now, I have some words here that the top words that people can't spell, according to Google.
Okay.
So these are the top
I'm horrible
words.
at spelling.
These are the top words that people do not know how to spell. Kaden, I'm going to go to you first.
Wonderful.
Okay? Because I want to be nice to our guests.
Are we doing a spelling bee?
Yes.
I'm
That's
out.
what this
I'm
is
leaving.
turned into.
No.
is a
You're staying
spelling
here.
bee.
You're staying right here, Patrick. Number one on the list is restaurant. Do you know how to spell restaurant?
RESTAURANT.
Nice, Kaden.
Yes.
Okay.
I always have to think restaurant.
Okay.
That's how I think of it.
I am.
No, Patrick,
the
we're going
world's
over to you.
Worst speller.
We're going over
If
to you.
it's more than a 3-letter word, I'm gonna get it wrong.
I'm going to go. Now, there's a certain movie that taught us how to spell this word, and I think you'll get it. But
You can't Google it either.
I'm googling it.
beautiful.
I would spell it wrong. Yep. I'm not even doing it.
Hey, you just think
So,
of Jim Carrey
Jim
for
Carrey,
half a
exactly.
second and
Yes.
go, it's BEA
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So here's I won't put any more pressure, but here's the words that Google says is the most searched. How do you spell? Restaurant was number one. Pneumonia,
All
number
I know is
two.
it starts with a P.
Yeah. Appreciate.
That one is tough because it's how many P's are there in it.
Yep, that's exactly what they say. Receipt is number 4. Receipt.
There's a P in receipt, and that
Yep.
again is the P's will get you.
And it's E before I, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Beautiful was number 5. Niece, number 6.
Oh, yeah.
Maintenance, number 7. Bougie, number 8.
I would never look that word up.
Diarrhea.
Also, another word that I feel like
That
I don't
is-
need to know how to spell it.
That's a crappy word to spell. And
Wow.
congratulations is number 10.
Okay, fair enough.
Those are the 10 top most searched Google words. How do you spell?
Beautiful thing about phones and our computers, that red line just pops up. Right click, we're
Yeah.
good to go.
Except sometimes,
True.
sometimes when I'm trying to type a certain word, Siri changes it to duck.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Oh, no. Actually, I've seen
Well,
that. But anyway.
You're like, I'm kidding. I'm not, but I'm kidding. Oh, man. Yeah,
Oh,
well, that's how
shoot.
it goes. Hey, high school baseball going on
Yes.
tonight. So let's give the schedule. Let's talk about it. What's going on? Of course, games yesterday postponed, we'll say. Not necessarily canceled. They're going to try to get them back in this week, but postponed nonetheless. So the games tonight, though. Crimson and Desert Hills. It was supposed to be at Desert Hills. Let's flip the script. It's over at Crimson Cliffs.
Well, and
this
that's
time now,
what the
right?
game would have been tonight anyways, even if last night's doesn't get played.
Exactly.
Yeah, so yes, it's Desert Hills will be at Crimson Cliffs. These are all 7:30 starts. Hurricane will be traveling across the county to go play the Snow Canyon Warriors, and Cedar City coming down the freeway to take on the Flyers, their old arch rival for sure. So and then we'll keep you up to date when we hear those games from yesterday on when they'll be rescheduled. I do know that the Desert Hills Crimson game has been rescheduled for March 30th, which puts a little bit of stress on both of those teams pitching, because now there will be 3 region games that week for both of those teams. So that will be an interesting way to, it'll kind of get those 2 teams kind of going for getting them into state playoff mode, because you do have that many games in those short amount of times and that kind of thing. So maybe it's a little bit of a good omen.
Yeah, so Desert Hills that week, for example, let's just start with Desert Hills.
Yeah.
Desert Hills is going to have to go to Hurricane, and then they'll be home against Crimson Cliffs,
Yep.
and then they'll be home against Hurricane.
Yeah.
For example. So, and that's all in 1 week, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So it's a lot of baseball. These kids are used to it, though. They're used to playing double headers. So playing 3 games in a week, they're used to playing 3 games in a weekend. I don't think it'll be that big of a stress outside of the pitching rotations. That's really where this comes into play, right? Is pitchers.
Absolutely. And then when it comes to Crimson, next week, actually, is that their bye week? It looks like that might be their
they're
bye
at
week.
Cedar.
Oh, they are?
Crimson is at Cedar on Tuesday, and then they are home against Cedar on Friday.
Yes. You're right.
The bye week there's for Dixie. So Dixie's the one team that if they sneak a game in, they're like, that's fine by us.
Yeah,
We're
for
not
sure.
playing anyone anyways.
For sure. So, so both of those teams are going to have to deal with pitching and how to, strategize that to where, these region games, this is what they've been waiting for. And you certainly want your number one and your number two both starting on the bump for those different games. And now there's a third game thrown in there. So, you're going to have to go just a little bit deeper into your bullpen.
Yep, that tends to happen on those short weeks. So it's a good way to prepare for playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If anything, this is a little preview to what could happen when the state playoffs start, for sure.
Yeah, it's great. And we still don't have a final word on where playoffs are even being held, I don't think.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Usually when you start a season, it's like, playoffs are going to be here. It's going to be great. So that's usually how it goes. Photo ops. Photo ops from the window. Well, good timing for that because that's a great way to wrap up the show. So got to thank Pat, of course, for hopping on. Pat, always a pleasure.
Anytime. I love talking with you guys. That's the great thing about your show that you've brought to Southern Utah the last 2 years, right? Year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah.
Is you guys, and you talk about it all the time, so I don't feel like I'm saying anything that hasn't been said, but you guys are two guys that love sports. You talk sports from the bleachers. Love it. Anytime. I'd love to be here.
We'll have you back.
Of course. All right, guys, we're out of here. So have a good one, and we will see you next time.
Sorry. No, you